Are the journalist Rachel Sylvester, who interviewed Andrea Leadsom for The Times on Saturday, sparking a huge controversy about what she said about being a mother. Zoe Williams from The Guardian, and Rachel Johnson, columnist for The Mail on Sunday, of course, sister to Boris Johnson. Rachel Sylvester, was it you or was it her?
It was definitely her. I just asked the questions and she answered. But what I think the interview did show was it sort of tapped into a wider concern about her naivety and her lack of experience, which a lot of colleagues have been talking about, and that kind of exposed it rather than sort of sparking it.
And Zoe Williams, what was your reaction when you heard she'd gone?
Well, I think Rachel should take a little bit of the triumph, to be honest. Look, I was glad. I think she is a kind of nasty street fighting style of a politician, and it was disingenuous the way she behaved, and she came out really, really angry and aggressive, and I don't like her ideology, I don't like her style. So I was pleased because I think she was already polluting the debate.
Rachel Johnson?
I do recognise that depiction of Andrea Leadsom. I mean, I think that it's as if we've all been through an episode of Midsummer Murders, and we saw, a vicar's daughter cunningly displace, this Towcester MP, and it's been a sort of the shy. In the last elections we had the shy Tories, and now we've had the shire Tories, who've been, in a sense, eliminated by the Westminster Collective.
But political writers like a contest. Aren't you distressed that you haven't had more of a contest?
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a homeopathic amount of democracy anyway to let the Prime Minister be chosen by Tory members, but it was better.
199 people rather than 150,000.
It was better than this. I mean, this is ridiculous. You couldn't even poison your enemy with that much.
Does that mean that you're both, or you're all brewing up for a general election?
Christ, no.
Well, no, I mean...
Lord, no.
Lord, no. No, I mean, originally I was always saying we cannot go through this phase as important as this without going back to the country. Obviously, strategically, that's really problematic now because there's no progressive force to oppose the Tories. So, actually, from Theresa May's point of view, a snap election would be a really good idea.
Other parties, the Greens, the Labour Party, and the Lib Dems have all called for a general election today.
I know, but I don't think we realised how much of a shower we were going to be in.
but Rachel Sylvester, here we are in a situation in which all the people who were Leavers have left.
I know.
No Gove.
It was
no
an order.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Now, I asked at the top of the programme, is Boris Johnson too dead to come back? Is Gove too nasty to come back? What's the answer to those two questions?
I don't think he is, but I don't think Theresa May owes a huge amount, certainly to Andrea Leadsom or to Michael Gove or to Boris Johnson. But I think she will have to somehow try and reunite the Tory party and the country by bringing some Brexiteers in.
I guess we have to ask the sister.
No, I'm not meeting your eye. My eyes are... I'm not looking at you,
but
John.
I can see your nose.
Everyone can see my nose.
And I have to ask you, is he waiting by the telephone?
I'm sure he's not. But, I mean, a lot of other people are, she said, cunningly deflecting this question. Did you not see the massed ranks of Tory MPs applauding Theresa?
Does he regard himself as politically dead?
I can't speak for my brother. I'm sorry. I'm here to speak as a columnist on The Mail on Sunday and not as his sister.
Well, let me turn to Michael Gove, which is an easier subject. Would you be happy to see Michael Gove back in the cabinet?
I think Michael Gove's a very able politician, and I think that Theresa May will genuinely choose the best people for the job when she comes to picking her cabinet.
Forgive me, we have a situation here,
I know,
as I said, with no Leavers in the frame.
Exactly, and I think there is a problem beyond the personalities in the party, even though those are transfixingly unpleasant, many of them, which is that the people with the passion for leaving Europe...
Can Boris Johnson come back?
I think he would be a useful addition if he actually meant that passion that he had for leaving Europe, because at the moment we've got to stitch together an Article 50 without anybody who cares to leave.
He got as close as a whisper to being Prime Minister, and he was, called a coward, frankly, for running away.
He never seemed to me to be completely committed to the Leave case, but, I don't know him.
Well, do we divine in reality that perhaps actually the Leavers didn't really quite want to win? They wanted to really...
I think that's absolutely right. Sarah Vine said you were only meant to blow the doors off, as in the Italian job. And I think they really didn't expect to win, and a bit of them didn't want to win. They just wanted to, stir things up a bit and maybe get a better renegotiation with Europe for a second referendum, as Boris himself suggested.
So, Rachel, we now have a situation in which Mrs. May, who, as we've already said repeatedly, was on the other side, has got to find people of real substance who are going to make
deliver
the case.
Brexit.
Exactly.
Well, don't forget.
So where are they going to
And
find
what
it?
kind of Brexit?
What
as well?
kind of Brexit?
Yeah. Well,
Brexit
She
could be
said
many things.
today that she wants Brexit is Brexit and she wants to make a great success of Brexit, which means that she will have to bring some of the leading lights of Brexit into the cabinet, maybe appoint one of them to be the
The towering
cabinet
figure of Chris Grayling?
the cabinet minister for Brexit, whoever that might be.
But exactly so. You know,
Could it be
also-
Boris Johnson?
If there's going to be
is he
no,
the sort of man who could negotiate Brexit?
I'm not sure he's a details man, but Rachel may know more.
I mean, he doesn't have a famous eye for detail, does he? Let's be honest. I mean, you need somebody who's quite interested in that
Well,
kind of
who is that
granular
person?
level.
Who is
I've
that
got
person?
no idea.
But
I don't know what they
but wait,
would.
I'm sure
Sean, I
David
think-
Davis would love
Listen,
it.
Oh.
Well, what about David
Oh.
Davis?
He's a possibility.
he's a
Well,
big
he was
Brexit.
very quick to support Mrs. May, and I challenged him
But
on
John-
this programme. I said, "Are you really supporting Mrs. May, or do you want a job?" And he was frightfully taken aback. But
I think you're asking the wrong question because I think Theresa May is actually a secret Brexiteer, and I think this plays to her strengths. And she
She's definitely
is
a
going to
details
be the
person.
one who is going to lead the negotiations to get us a better deal from Europe, as we leave. It's
Somebody-
going to be her leading Brexit.
Somebody said that actually her position was very similar to Jeremy Corbyn's on paper, that she was a Remainer, but actually in her heart she was a Leaver. And that, for him, completely disqualified him from office, and for her made her Prime Minister.
I hesitate to ask this question as a man, but the woman, the effect of having a woman
Well, as a
In
mother,
this
I think
very-
a snap election is really important.
in this very torrid time is Theresa May.
It's irrelevant. It's
Is it
complete
irrelevant?
Gender
Yeah.
is irrelevant.
Well, I certainly don't think she's a feminist, and I wouldn't say that she's going to further the lot of women nationally. I do think there's a kind of Angela Merkel motif stuff attaching to her, just because she seems so mature
What about
and sober compared to everybody else.
furthering the poor, which she's mentioned today? Do you believe in that?
I thought that
Oh,
was
good God, I mean-
a tilt at the Notting Hill Tories, who have been so
Yeah.
comprehensively displaced
And to be honest,
by the fallout from Brexit.
And I think it was about as sincere as the Notting Hill Tories, which is to say not sincere at all. You know, when you actually compare it to her voting record, there is nothing to suggest that she has anything to say to the underclass as she sees them or anybody else
She
sees
has got
them.
a slight aspect of the vicar's daughter to her, I think, which is I do think she wants to do the right thing. She's incredibly diligent. She does want I think she wants to help the society and help make a better world, whether or not she's got the right ways of doing that. But I do think she's got a sort of moral cause.
But everybody thinks they're making a better world, don't they? It's just so many people
let me
wrong.
then take you back to this absolutely acid question. Will there be an election before 2020? She has a majority of 12.
Well, she's said not, but if I were her, the Labour Party's in such a mess, you know, it would make perfect sense to call.
And do we look to Gordon Brown for the lesson?
Well, he should have called one and didn't, and, you know.
Yeah.
Rachel?
I mean, I think she'll only call one if the polls are wildly in her favour and the Labour Party's balls are still to the wall.
A snap election is always going to be a really high risk strategy, and one of the whole points of Theresa May is that she's quite risk averse. So I can't see it, but I think it would be the right call.
Well, thank you very much, Zoe Williams. Thank you, Rachel Johnson. Thank you, Rachel Sylvester. All three. We'll be reading what you're saying in the next few days and see where we come out.